Hi, I'm Scott, your favorite baseball park. We are once again in the booth presented by the Players Alliance of Minor League Prospects. It's I, Flobo Boyce, and I, for one, am excited because even though I was a small, roly-poly, pudgy boy, I had dreams about being a student athlete, being a youth athlete, and I thought it wasn't possible. But the kids today have opportunities that I haven't seen. So, to help me talk about some of those opportunities, I'd like to welcome one of the product managers over at FitMatch AI. Please welcome How's the Content Show. How's it going?
Going well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to hear your perspective on the technology today and see how we can advance this together in youth athlete development.
So that's the first thing that blew my mind. I was like, youth athlete development, because back in my day, it was making sure you go to class and that was it. That's how you
Yeah.
develop. But the game has changed. I mean, now, with the advent of technology in our everyday lives, I mean, we have more data at our disposal. What exactly is FitMatch? How do you use it to help the youth?
Yeah, sure. So FitMatch is a 3D technology platform. Our goal is simple, to democratize access to any type of 3D technology that we have for the benefits of various industries. Today, what we're talking about, though, is QuadraScan. QuadraScan is a 3-second technology platform that we can capture 4 photos of an athlete and spit back body insights to them in seconds. So imagine you're scouting or you're having athletes kind of recruit to be on a team. All you need is 4 photos, front, back, left, and right. And in seconds, we can give you their entire body measurements. We can give you body composition, fat mass, lean mass, bone mineral content. And we actually are taking it a step further. We can do body maturation. So I can tell you if this is a late mature, average mature, or an early mature based just on their development and their body shape. Um, there are all also other cool features that we've added, such as like predicted height. Imagine you taking 4 photos of your son and now telling or knowing when or how tall they are going to be or when their growth spurt is. So again, just a 3-second scan. We're using AI to advance this type of insights that we don't have access to. So we're really just trying to get the word out there to see, how athletes and parents can get access to this.
So let me take a step back because you're mentioning what Contra Scan is. My instantly went back to like Iron Man 2 when Tony Stark had like the suit in the suitcase and he like opened it up and put it on. But what exactly does QuadraScan look like? Is it an app? Is it a multiple camera setup? Is it a backdrop?
Yeah, absolutely. QuadraScan is this. It is a smartphone.
Oh wow.
So with our application, all you just need to do is take out any device that can take photos, take 4 photos of the individual standing there, and that's all you need. Um, in seconds, we can actually take our technology with some of the patents that we use around data mapping and data and 3D avatar generation. We'll pull a 3D avatar out of those 4 photos, run them through our patented algorithms, and spit back all these data insights. And again, just with 4 photos.
So hold on. So as a according to my notes, you are the head of product over at
Correct.
Fitmaster, right? And this is something that came across your desk. What was that meeting like? Like, did someone like barge in, like, I got an idea? Or was it something when you had an application that said, yo, this can actually apply to other things? Like, what was the maturation of this?
Yeah, so that's great. That's a great question. So within product, within FitMatch, we've been successfully operating for over 4 years now. And the technology back then was a little different. We were actually utilizing LiDAR off the iPhones to be able to track body shapes and capture them. We did start in the retail industry where fit and recommendations were challenges, but soon we actually grew into the sports realm. We were invited to be able to scan athletes and just to see how and what our technology can produce. And from there, it kind of was a light bulb moment to us. Not only did we have coaches and trainers asking for this information, but we now have partnerships with plastic surgeons. We have a lot of conversations on the digital health tracking side. So imagine being able to take these 4 photos, capture your 3D avatar, and produce insights that can be replicated or utilized across various industries. So sports is just one of them where we can take these insights and just make it meaningful to the sport and the industry the actual athlete is playing in. But imagine going to your doctors and checking in after an injury. Now you can send them your scan from home. You don't have to go to that doctor's appointment. Imagine someone not being able to go back to the doctor's appointment or the doctor's office multiple times. They can just do it in 3 seconds at home. So it's fun when you build a technology where you then have other partners and collaborators coming to the table saying, hey, did you know I can use it for gait tracking? Did you know that I can start utilizing it as someone's going through plastic surgery operations? So just various different type of industries, topics that come about on our day-to-day basis. And we just love partnering, collaborating with those individuals.
This is kind of a TMI moment, but as someone who's had work done, I would love to have some sort of like preview what that would look like if I had the chance to do that. But so it seems to me though that with our bodies and learning more about it, it almost seems to be like an arms race, right? So many different vendors out there, so many different technologies, so many ways to really interpret the data that we get and receive about ourselves. Over at over at Fit Match with the Quadrascan, how do you try to cut through the clutter to make sure that your product stands out in the marketplace?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So we spent a lot of time on the user experience. You're not entering a building where you have to stand in front of 500 cameras, uncomfortably making sure that all these images are being taken and then you don't know where they're going. On top of that, it's not an hourly or like a very long or daunting process. So our mission was to create a 3D technology that can capture your body in seconds. Imagine scanning multiple soccer athletes at one time, and the kids just after they run through the experience, they're like, okay, what's next? Like, what's my next drill? What do I have to do next? And we say, you're done. You can go now. And it's just lightning that you see that this shit like shines across their faces. So the number one for us was the user experience. Can we build something that was fast, easy to do, simple, and you don't need a third party to do it with you?
Right.
And by focusing in on that, I think that's where a lot of the fun came with designing a product for the various industries that was very, very impactful. The other thing was accuracy and privacy. So from a privacy lens, one of the things that we fixated a lot on is, these are for photos, or even if you do our self-scan method, how can we ensure the data is private? So whatever's happening is, stays on the actual device. We actually don't upload your photos or images to the cloud. And because in youth athlete development, we're dealing with younger children. And for that reason, we wanted to build a solution where everything is secure, everything is private, and no one else has access to your data. And then when it comes to accuracy, we've actually worked with partners like in the major leagues to ensure that the data that we have is most accurate. So for example, some of our training models are built off DEXA scans, over 20,000 DEXA scans, to ensure that the data that we're outputting is matching what the quality of our consumers, patients alike want to be able to have. So by targeting the usability, the accuracy, and the privacy, I really think that Quadrascan is kind of in its lead to be one of those solutions that you can get those 3D body insights quickly.
I'm so glad you mentioned some of the partner work, and I will get to that in quite a second. But I gotta address the elephant in the room: the pachyderm in the space. For those old school parents and uncles, and I'm unk age, that have kids or know kids that want to be a youth athlete, especially baseball players. Sometimes maybe we're thinking there's too much data out there. Like we're
Yeah.
inundating these children of what they can and what their potential are. We're scouting them way too early. Have you come across any kind of pushback from parents that says, let the kids play? What are you doing in this space? Does it come off? Does people think it's invasive, or is it just something I'm just postulating here?
Yeah, no, that's also a good question. So there's the feature aspect of what we're building and designing. So I'll tackle that first. But if you're looking at body maturation, we're actually identifying the areas that you just called out, right? So when a parent is putting their child through sports and they haven't hit their peak height, right? And they have all these other children next to them that are taller than them, bigger than them, and just, trying to hustle at that sport, sometimes there's a lot of discouragement as well on the parent side, right? But what our maturation report allows coaches and parents to see is this individual has not hit their growth spurt. Like, don't give up on them just yet. Don't enroll them just because they are shorter than the average bunch. Their growth spurt is coming. So it kind of gives them the tool and the confidence to keep going. In fact, I've actually heard the opposite in terms of data. So I have kids myself, and I swear it's an arm and a leg. My sons are playing travel basketball, middle school basketball. They're on multiple teams, and it does cost a lot of money, right? So there's this investment aspect to it too. So parents that are really passionate about their kids in sports and are really taking the time and energy to invest, they love this, right? Because now they know what they're working with. The more trainings they're putting, the more coaches and assignments that they're getting for their own children, they want this data and they love to share it with the coaches to say, hey, I have been tracking him at this point in time. And then you'll be surprised. Some of the major leagues that when we're talking to them today, they start recruiting at the age of 14, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even internationally is what we're seeing. And that's why this type of information is so empowering, because even though they're not getting recruited in this very moment, they are being groomed and they are being trained to make sure that they can make the cut as they get older.
Oh yeah, you hit the nail on the head about travel ball. Competitive is kind of an understatement, right? When it comes out there. So you mentioned it, yeah. Working alongside Major League Baseball, I saw a couple years ago at some of the winter meetings. That must have been a cool thing to get down there and touch foot on the ground and really show other people the potential of your product.
Yeah, absolutely. So we were invited to set up at the MLB winter meetings this past December, and it was just enlightening, right, to see the type of data and the access. I think one of the key takeaways from that session is, this type of information is so insightful, but people cannot find it anywhere else, right? So being, the one individual, that one vendor that says, hey, we can come in and build this with you. I think of ourselves as less of a vendor, more of a partner.
Mhm.
So by looking at this technology, every team, every conversation we had was slightly different. I need it for X reason, or I need it for Y reason. And they were leaning into FitMatch to see how we can build it together. And I think that's the core thing, is as we're talking to various teams, we're basically building something that can personalize and make it sure it fits within their own organization itself.
I always hear that there's a camp that says the winter meetings is very stuffy and a bunch of guys, executives, and it seems very cold. And there's other people that say, hey, look, no, it's kind of like a party amongst people, amongst friends. We're like rivals, but friendly rivals. Like, what's been your take?
Yeah. Oh, no, that's a good question. No, it definitely wasn't rivalry. It was kind of like you're seeing everyone's high five in the hallway. I know that there's a separate session for meetings, and then there was a separate session for everyone to come in and talk to, individuals within this space.
Mhm.
But smiles on the face. It seemed like everyone kind of knew everyone. Every scout knew other scouts. So it was a lot of camaraderie there. And I think it was like a great time. It seemed like everyone was having a great time. So I definitely say it was in the middle, especially when you kind of come out of the serious meeting sessions.
Did your company consider that a win going out there, or was it a nice chance to see things you need to work on? Like, what was the vibe internally after going out there?
Yeah, absolutely. We loved it because it was the feedback, right? Every type of aha moment, every type of, oh my God, this exists, or we've gotten some of, can I have it tomorrow? I'm traveling down to the DR. All those type of conversations come out from those sessions. And that's why we love putting our product in front of people and just trying it. Honestly, for our goal is to get in front of the individuals, show them the tech. So once you actually see the tech, you see the ease of it, the usability of it. It's more of like light bulb moments go off, right? So I can use it for X, I can use it for Y. So it was just making sure that we're out there, and people were loving it the way that we anticipated them to.
Talk to me more about your team. Like, what's the vibe? What's the culture over at FitMatch? Is it kind of like work hard, play hard? Is it kind of like we're helping the greater good? Like, when I try to understand, give us a personality, how do you
Yeah.
describe your team?
Yeah. So we are an AI startup. We've been running, like I'd mentioned, for about 4 to 5 years now. We have a 30-person team. Our team is mostly made up of data scientists and engineers with a strong leg within product and marketing and sales as well. But our goal is really simple, right? So to democratize access to tech that other people don't have. So, and that's why I kind of get so excited when people are like, does this exist? How quick can we get it? How fast can we get it? So our focus, or what our better butter is to churn out technology, make it fast, make it seamless. And that's what everyone in our company really thrives on. We are a fun bunch. We are remotely located. So any chance we can get to be together, we definitely take up on it. But yeah, it's definitely a great culture, very startup-y to your point. We do work hard to play hard. But yeah, it's just very exciting to be here.
Yeah, I can only imagine that, like almost like our baseball team, there is that kind of collective idea to win, and sometimes
Yeah.
there's tough days at the clubhouse. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, no,
So
for sure.
where was there a data point or a cluster of data points that, I mean, not to say that it was dismissed, but something you didn't realize was as important to the end user that kind of took you by surprise when you were doing these tests?
Initially, I didn't understand the speed. So in the type of world we're in today, um, as you imagine how often you swipe up on TikTok, right? How often these videos loads, things like that. Like we want data and we want it instantly. So that's something that our team has spent a lot of time on is ensuring that in 3 seconds, you can get this data. You can get all of it, right? Everything from your lengths, your circumferences, your breath measurements, your wingspan. Being able to have this data quickly is something that all of our clients and our partners really strive for. And that's something that I feel like has become our DNA now. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't realize the importance of it at first because we're so used to like things either taking time, but I just feel like the world has changed now where everything needs to be instant, and that's something that at least on the product side is something that we're kind of really thriving towards, is making sure things are fast and they're easily digestible to any type of consumer that's looking at the product.
Oh, excellent. And forgive me if this next question is proprietary, but what does the roadmap look like for QuadraScan over the next 12, 18, 24 months?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So right now we received a lot of input on, like, the different type of measurements that we're pulling, the different type of body maturation details. But as we kind of grow, we're really tapping into the digital health industry. So how individuals are being tracked over time, how you can not only just track numbers, but you can actually track scale and you can track shape, right? So when you're looking at body asymmetries, can you see the difference between your left and your right side? Things like guilt or trying to monitor movement tracking. How are your elbows moving? How are your wrists moving? How are your ankles moving? Things of those nature are really things that we're really starting to hear in the market that is more and more important day by day.
Yeah. And is it kind of like a situation where it's like living data where like over time data references can infer other data points? Like sometimes when you
Correct.
go to like an ancestry like com test, it's like, oh, by the way, we updated our testing. You're now 3% from Antarctica or something,
Yeah, absolutely. So it's basically essentially you're allowed to create your own profile, right? And the beauty about the Quadra scan is you can scan as many times as you want. You scan once a week, you scan once a month, you can scan once a quarter. Things like DEXA, you can't really do that, right? You have to have access to the solution and do it once a year because of radiation. So imagine being able to track now elements of your body on a scale as long as you want to keep it as long as you want to keep it tracking. So monthly, quarterly, weekly, so things like that we just have to keep in mind. They're like, that's, I think, the most exciting pieces to the consumer is they have flexibility now, right? It's not like a 1 month report. It's more insights that they can start maintaining the way they want to maintain it.
We were talking about this before we went live, and you said you are a Mets fan by a couple degrees. It's fine. Hey, welcome to the family. A question though: when you make it out to City Field, can you still enjoy the game, or are you looking at like data points over each player? And are you like in the sauce a lot when you go to a real baseball game, or?
That's so funny. Actually, yes. So when I go to a baseball game with my kids, right, and once I get them settled with their hot dogs and everything, I start to think about the recruiting and the scouting, right? Like how long it takes to get the individuals onto that field, how much they're practicing, things like that. But at the end of the day, you have to enjoy the ball game, right? As soon as the singing comes on, the chanting comes on, I think I
Yeah.
kind of get lost. But overall, a part of Fit Match will always live with whatever I do. So it's as exciting as it can get.
Well, it's interesting because I had Jerry Blevins on the show, former Met, kind of a small world, and he was voiceover on this documentary called Fielding Dreams that was about baseball scouts. I'm only mentioning it because my professors from college actually directed the film. Um, but
Wow.
but a lot of it, you're right. It's notepads, it's stopwatches, it's notes on a card, and if you're lucky, there's footage that goes into a database, and people go,
Yeah.
"Here's the footage of Joe Smith doing it." This could be a little bit of a lightning thing. Now, I have a question that I'm not sure if it's magic or possible or whatever, but if you ever had a client, or is it possible to basically white label the product? And what I mean by that, if there's someone that wants to get the quadrant technology for use, but say, hey, look, I only want these data points. I don't care about the rest. Can your team do that? Or is that considered, no, data for all is an open thing?
Yeah, that's a great question. No, so I guess in one of my earlier questions, one of the things that I said that we love to do is partner. So we partner with individual on how they want to use data. So
Mm-hmm.
there's individuals that love to use QuadraScan on the gym and fitness side and say measurements are the only thing. Then we have the professional athlete side that body comp is only a thing, right? So you're able to actually take the solution and also how you see the solution, whether it's web enabled, if you have your own existing app, it could be within your app. But you can actually start to mold it the way that you see best, and then include the data that you only find the most useful. So it can 100% be white labeled. And then we can also add on and create landmarks and things for your business as needed.
Yeah, that to me is so fascinating because imagine if you're a scout, you could just say, hey, look, for our organization, we need these.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's the technology in your fingertips. I have to mention this as well because I am, even though this is a baseball podcast, I am a soccer fan. I saw Josie Altidore in some of the promo photos. that was pretty cool having a USMT player being in the mix, having him involved in the project.
Yeah, absolutely. So Josie is really close to the project, as well as Marshall Falk as well on the NFL side. And I think that's the beauty of it, right? It's not one sport. It's not one position. Everyone within sports are kind of like starting to realize what this is and how it can really change the game. So having their involvement, just with creating the product and getting it out into the hands of folks, it has been really significant. So really excited to have both of them a part of our team.
Well, at this point in the show, we always ask everyone if baseball is cool, but I think this scope here is pretty wide. Like, I have to ask you this then. Thanks for being on the show, but is youth sports cool? Why or why not?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So youth sports to me is like the future, right? Sports are not going anywhere. Development for young athletes are not going anywhere. And even if your child is not in a professional development sport, getting them to move, knowing more about your kids, right? Understanding what their body insights are, I think is crucial to all. And I don't think any one of these factors are going away anytime soon. So everyone should lean a little bit more into what they have access to. It's 2026. It's the world of AI. So allow it to help you in these type of scenarios.
Don't be like me and use AI for just to make myself like wearing a rocket ship or something like that. Well, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. And in the booth is the podcast. We sit with people like yourself who support the sport. But here's the fun part. If anyone is listening right now that want to know more about you and the project, what's going on this year, how they go about doing that.
Sure. You can definitely reach out to me directly, Asna Kahn at fitmatch.ai, or add me on LinkedIn. And there we can definitely have a conversation on how this benefits you. And if you just want to try the tech, you can actually find the technology QuadraScan on the iOS App Store today and try it out for free to get your very own 3D personalized avatar.
If I had this when I was a kid, I could have been like a multi-sport athlete. I'm not the cheeseburgers. I'm blaming that. I'm blaming the technology for the reason. This is in the booth part of the Black Baseball Mixtape Network.